Hey y'all. Welcome to Unlocking Brand Partnerships on Snapchat. My name is Varshini Satish. I sit on Snap's Creator Partnerships team, and I work with all of our emerging fashion and beauty creators. And today we're going to be in conversation with two leading Snapchat creators. We call them Snap Stars. We have Katie and Nova here with us today, who are going to tell us how they built, yes, applause for them. They're going to tell us exactly how they built their super compelling presences on Snap to attract and work with all the brands that they have. So, Katie, Nova, hi. Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
Thanks for letting me be here.
Will you please tell us a little bit about yourselves? Who are you as creators, and what brands have you worked with on Snap?
Okay, I'll go first. My name is Nova, Novian Cherry. I go by Nova on Snap. I built my presence on Snap by posting a lot of spotlight videos. And the brands that I've worked with on Snapchat are Hulu, 47 brand. I threw the first pitch with the San Diego Padres, and also recently did a collab with Forbes on Snapchat.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. My name is Katie Austin. I am the founder of the KA Daily app. I do workouts. I do healthy homemade recipes at home, and a lot of my content on Snapchat's like that. I've been on Snapchat for, I want to say, almost like 8-9 years, so quite a long time. I feel like an OG Snapchatter. And I am also a 5-time Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. So I do a lot of hosting with them and a lot of hosting in general. I was a Division I athlete at USC, fight on, yay. And so I do a lot of lifestyle and everything, but I focus mostly on recipes. That's kind of what my Snapchat's known for, and workouts, healthy living. And I actually just filmed a brand deal this morning for Snapchat. It was for Albertsons, which was going grocery shopping and finding all the grocery deals. So that was just this morning. And then I've done a lot of brand deals on Snapchat. Honestly, I did Jameson, I've done Nike, I've done Clinique, I have done Walmart, Amazon, and then I did a year-long deal with Kohl's on Snapchat. After just 1 month of doing a brand deal with Kohl's, they wanted to sign a whole year, so that was exciting. And yeah, I am excited to do more brand deals on Snap.
Your Kohl's brand deal is still one that we use in the case study because it did insane numbers. And when you're looking at your Snapchat community, how did you build that community, and how do you reach them using Snapchat in a way that's totally different from your other platforms?
I would say for me, I'm a Spotlight creator. Snapchat has been pushing Spotlight a lot, and I've built my following up to almost 1 million followers through Spotlight. And I like to connect with my audience by posting relatable content. I feel like we all live the same lives. We all, been to school or can relate to a lot of things. So I think I relate to my audience in those ways. I do it through Spotlight, and I also do it through stories. And yeah.
You reminded me I need to get on the Spotlight more. And I feel like that's just a really great example, too, of how there's so many different ways to use Snapchat. I actually grew my Snapchat by just posting on stories, and like a lot of them. I probably do around 50 to 60 story frames a day. And I've done that since 2018 consistently. And so I think people just find me mostly on the For You page there and their algorithms. I focused a lot on making like the first snaps like really engaging, and then the last snaps, my final food product or my final workout and something like that. And I feel like I've grown a lot of my Snapchat through, of course, being consistent and making really good educational content, because mine are like step-by-step recipes or workouts that people can come back to. I think something like educational for someone to keep subscribing to is really, really important. Give them a reason to come back the next day, which I'm always like, promoting the recipe that I'm doing the next day type thing. But also through genuinely replying to comments. I think that's something that I've really grown, because I actually just came back from a 5-city workout tour, and truly in every single city that I was at, they were like, wait, are you actually replying to me on Snapchat? I was like, yes, it's me. And so I feel like just with that, just replying to comments personally and taking like 30 minutes out of your day to just individually message back and answer the questions is a wonderful way to grow on Snap.
I love that. And now the next couple questions are going to be specifically for the creators in the room and the creators watching. How have you built your public profiles and your presence on Snap to be so authentically you? And you both post really unique Snapchat forward content on there, right? That's like so on the go and so specific to what you think of when you think of Snapchat. And how have you still made that something that brands are excited and wanting to plug into in your Snapchat voice?
I would think like out of all the apps that are out there, Snapchat is like the most authentic app there is. And your audience knows that. It's like having a best friend watch you every day. So I think through that, like, you know, Snapchat is just super authentic. And as far as like my public profile, I usually like, you know, do public save stories. So like for this event, I will have this event on my public save story. And brands, I feel like they get an idea of the creator that they're working with on their public save story. So it's just like your digital resume. And I think that's pretty cool.
Totally. I feel like you hear the word authenticity so much these days, especially in social media, but Snapchat truly is the most authentic platform because for me personally, I feel like I've created that authenticity because on, you know, the other platforms, per se, Instagram, you're seeing that final product. You're seeing the well-done recipe, the curatedness of the feed and all that. But on Snapchat, I will be posting the recipes that turned out horribly and being like, oh wait, come with me to make these it literally just happened last week. Come with me to make these healthy cookies. And I'm in the moment trying to make these healthy cookies, yet they turned out so shitty. So they're seeing that, and my followers really like that because, in a weird way, because it's like you're seeing that authentic side where, you know, it's the behind the scenes, it's the real day in my life, it's truly in the moment. And I feel like a lot of the times the other platforms are super curated, and you're kind of just seeing, you know, either it's a trend video and you're thinking so much, okay, how do I fit this sound to go to a trend that's happening right now? No. Snapchat is truly just something that you open up, you say your feelings, what you're doing, you provide really great content, educational content for your followers, but also you're real. And I think that's a huge part about growing. And if you're a creator out there, you hear it all the time, but truly be yourself. Be real. Post the stuff that, you know, you might not think anyone will care, and the craziest stuff will hit. I was literally just telling Nova earlier, like, I will do these 17-step recipes and no one cares, and then I do a 2 to 3 ingredient recipes and something, you know, hits, and I'm like, what the heck? So take risks, try new things, and really listen to your audience, because I think that's a really, really big one, is hearing and seeing what your followers want, because that's how you're gonna grow.
And for both of you, it sounds like Snap has been a safe space to like test out content and like show things first, right? And really get that audience opinion and feedback early on, which is a nice, comfy, safe space on the internet today. And for your partnered content on Snap, how does it look different, whether it's editing style, filming, tone? How does your partnered content look different on Snapchat compared to your other platforms?
I think on Snapchat, it's different because being a creator, you're in the driver's seat on Snap, you know, and your audience knows what kind of products you like and what kind of products you don't like. I feel like all the other apps are kind of super curated. They want you to, you know, to be somebody that you're not, you know, and it's super like TV. And Snapchat is just being real. My partner posts on Snapchat. I'm in the driver's seat of my creative, and my team knows that, my community knows that, and they know if I like the product or not, because I could just be myself, and that's what I truly appreciate about Snap.
I totally second that. I just actually did an entire campaign with Microsoft Copilot last week, both on Instagram and on Snapchat. And on Instagram, it was one in-feed video, and it was like pretty static of like, you know, here's what's going on in the campaign, in the video. And then I fully redid the exact same concept on Snapchat, but a full day in my life, meaning from when I woke up, from when I went to bed, on how Copilot is in my day-to-day. So there was other snaps in between them, you know, like the first 3 frames might have been Copilot, but then I had probably 25 frames in between the next ad, if that makes any sense. So it felt so much more authentic, and kind of, you know, what Nova said earlier too, like you're opening up the app because because it's your bestie, right? You're texting and you're messaging your best friends on that. Like, you check it because you have probably a group chat going off about someone's boyfriend. And so literally when you're opening it and you're replying to your best friends, you're also seeing, oh my gosh, Nova and Katie are on there. Let me see what they're up to. So you already have this vibe that you're watching your best friends, and you listen to your best friends. If someone tells you next to you, your best friend, oh my gosh, that skincare is amazing, you want to try it because you trust your best friend. So you have that same type of vibe. So your engagement and the brand deals just do so much better, in my opinion.
I love, Nova, what you said about being in the driver's seat of your content and just being able to immediately give people a sense of how you feel about something. And Katie, like, we say this all the time on the team. We're like, creator content is the commercial break between people's real life interactions, because your friends and family are on there, you're messaging them, you're waiting for someone to respond to you, you're gonna swipe over to the For You feed, and you're gonna consume your content. And there are 5 billion with a B snaps sent per day, and some of that, gasp, and some of that is people sharing out, like you said, the skincare product that they see in your stories to their group chat and being like, wait, didn't you need something like this? Like, this looks great. And so when you're able to give that depth of information like you both are talking about, it makes every partnership feel like, yeah, a friend recommending it to you.
Right.
And so for the creators in the room who might be in conversation with brands and they're pitching themselves out for partnerships, how do you recommend that they talk about Snapchat, and how do you also pitch out your Snapchat account when you're talking to brands about being like, hey, work with me on this platform too, and just how do you kind of do that?
I would say Snapchat is an and, not an or, when with the other platforms. When I'm talking to brands, I always pitch my Snap because, like I said, my Snapchat community knows me best. I could wake up and brush my teeth on Snap. I'm not doing that on Instagram, and I just feel like it's just like, it's very coping. It's a different feeling on Snap. And when I talk to these brands about even the deliverables, right? So say if I had I was talking to a brand and they was just super keen on Instagram. They're like, hey, we want 2 static posts and a reel. And I'm like, well, what about my Snap? Snapchat invented stories. I can post 30 snaps of your product, go into detail with the link of your product, and people are gonna watch that. Because if I do that on Instagram, who's gonna go through 30 stories on Instagram? Nobody in this room. So with Snapchat, I always say, hey, you guys can get your product out there more, your brand out there more on Snap, because I can do a story, and I can do a public save story of your product that lives forever on my page. And then I can curate a video on Spotlight. Snapchat it's like a jack of all trades. It has everything that you need. And if you're a brand and you're not on Snap, then what are you waiting for?
Truly, what are you waiting for? I agree, and I second that again. I feel like for me, how I pitch it usually is, let me prove it to you. I can show you, the link clicks and everything, just like I can on Instagram. I can show you the stats, the analytics, and I always love proving it to a brand. If they come to me, like you said, for an Instagram, I'm like, let me throw in a Snapchat for X amount of dollars, and we can see which does better. Does the other platform do better, or does Snapchat do better? And 9 out of 10 times, Snapchat does better. So it's a little bit of a prove it. And at the same time, I also always want to reiterate that it's so much more than just snap frames. I mean, you do tons on Spotlight, so there's a form of Spotlight at the same time. For me, I do a lot of stories that, like the Copilot one, that lasted 3 days. So I put it to 3 days instead of 24 hours. So it has more time to be consumed. And then also, like you mentioned, you have the save highlights that you can come back to. So I did a deal with the NFL and Snapchat for the Super Bowl this year, and it was, in feed. So you'll still go to my Snapchat and you'll see that in the highlights when you go to my profile page. So it's so much more beyond just 24-hour snaps.
I love that. And there are so many surfaces for creators and brands to really tap into. And one that I'm going to plug that I absolutely love is the Snap Maps. Do you guys ever use that? Because I'm obsessed with, if a coffee shop is going viral on other platforms, I want to go see real people try it out on the Snap Map and share their reactions. And for Snap Stars, which are our version of verified creators, if you post to the Snap Map, you're going to be the first person that's kind of shown in that tray. So like you both said, there's stories, there's spotlights, there's your Snap Map, there's saved stories to your public profile. There's so many places that people can plug into. And now we're going to shift gears very slightly for the brands in the room specifically. When you're reading a creative pitch or a brand brief, when you're about to partner with someone, what stands out to you as something that works and something that doesn't, and that brands should keep in mind when working with creators on Snapchat and even beyond?
I think that brands, like I said, giving the creator the tools to be themselves. Especially like when you have a close-knit community, they know what products we use and what products we don't use. When there's so many demands in a creative brief that we have to stick to, and you're getting outside of your creativeness, then that becomes kind of detrimental to the creator, because now we're doing things that we're normally not doing. And it's not saying that we can't do it, because we can, but I think when you're more authentic with the brand and with the product, then I feel like it'll generate more for the creator and the company, because you want to be happy on both sides. I don't want to just post the product and the brand doesn't win. I want the brand to win as well. So.
I think that's a really big point, by the way, wanting the brand to do well. I think as a creator, you have to want the brand to do well. And so for me, you send out these huge brand briefs, and sometimes those briefs can be like upwards of 15 pages, and I totally understand the legalities and everything, but like you said, letting the creator run free and kind of knowing what's best for their audience and being creative. I would say my favorite way to work with a brand is a briefing call, because number one, yes, we as creators can go through that brief, of course, but learning direct from the brand or from the agency is so beneficial for us, because we can hear what key messages are most important, and we can hear it from you. Sometimes for me, we can read something and there's I don't know, upwards of 20 key messagings, and we want to hear the feedback from directly what the campaign is. So I always suggest a call. I think it's the best way to get to know each other.
I love that. And so when you're thinking about like the brands in this room, and I'm going to on purpose create some FOMO here today, if they haven't already worked with a Snapchat creator or done a Snapchat brand partnership, why should they be jumping on that ASAP?
Well, if you're a brand in this room and you're not on Snapchat, it is the gold rush for Snap right now. I feel like every other platform is saturated, and Snapchat, it's a great time to get your real estate in, right? Because they're like my little brother, he's 17, he uses Snap. He doesn't use Instagram, he doesn't use Facebook, he doesn't use none of that. So if you're a front runner on the next generation, then your brand's gonna live for a long time. So it's very key to get in on Snap right now, so you guys can win in the future. And the platform's getting older too. A lot of like older folks, I'm 33, so a lot of older folks on the app as well. So it's like you get the best of both worlds. So, go home today and y'all get on Snap.
There's a huge reason that you see a lot of your favorite creators on Instagram or on TikTok that are literally posting stories to be like, follow my Snap these days. Because number one, they see the engagement is huge there, the viewership. I get almost 2 million views a day on my Snapchat, and literally I have to beg people for brand deals. I'm like, let me prove it to you how your brand is gonna succeed so much more on this platform. And also just to touch on that, yes, it's amazing for the younger generation, and it is getting older. I completely agree. I think one hurdle that I come through with brands is it's not like 13, 14-year-old little boys. I'm like, no, you don't understand. My Snap following, my analytics is 95% female, and it is between the ages of like 28 to 35. And it is young moms. It is also moms, 45-year-old moms of 4 who just want an easier, healthier recipe. And so truly, it is an amazing consumer demographic. I can see that the number one interest of these women and my followers, it tells me it is shopping. And so from right there, you have real consumers that will buy your product on this app. And so it's like, why not get on there? Because like you said, all the other platforms are getting so saturated.
100%. And I love what you said about insights too. And I know, Nova, we were also talking about this upstairs, where you can really get very specific, granular information about your audience's interests. Like you said, shopping. My audience is for some reason really interested in tennis, but I'm not serving them tennis content. So they've come to the wrong place with me, but hopefully they find someone else that they can follow for that. And thinking ahead about your career, because you've mentioned some massive brands between the two of you, right? Like you've worked with real heritage, massive brands. But looking ahead, who do you want to work with? Who's resonating with you day to day? Who are you getting excited by? Give them a shout out. Tell the people.
Well, I want to start working more with travel brands. I've been traveling a lot with my girlfriend. She's actually in the audience. And we've been having a great time traveling. So I want to work with travel brands. I also do a lot of gaming content. I want to start doing more of that. And that's pretty much it. I know AI too. AI is really starting to go heavy. So maybe some AI brands. But yeah, really lifestyle, travel, gaming, stuff like that.
For me, I would love, because I post in a freaking activewear fit every single day, basically, I would love a long-term activewear deal or a shoe deal. And I would also love to be partnered with a kitchen line. I loved doing my Kohl's deal. Walmart is like my dream client because they have everything. They have everything from activewear to cookware, and I can literally integrate it in my everyday life. So something like Walmart or the Targets of the world, Williams-Sonoma for cooking would be amazing as well. And I also do a ton of events. So like I said, I just got back from a 5-city workout tour, but another part of my job is traveling all over the US to do workout events and teach in real life. And I think, for me, community is everything. And so introducing my community to the brands that I love and partnering with brands for events is really important.
I love that. I hope they're listening today, and I hope you get those emails very soon. And finally, what's your favorite Snapchat feature that's helped you build your audience, your business, or your content?
Okay, I got 2 favorite Snapchat features. One is Spotlight. I feel like the engagement is really good on Spotlight. So you can grow a lot. And, like you guys can download Snap and grow tomorrow. It's one of those things. And analytics. The analytics on Snapchat are just amazing, right? So I know when my analytics update, every day at 5 p.m. they update. And you can legit just create content and see what works. You can see it's like they're giving you guys the blueprint to win. And, Snapchat is one of those platforms where, we're Snap stars, but it gives you the door to be a Snap star. I feel like other platforms, it's kind of too late to be, viral or, it's not really too late, but it kind of is. But with Snapchat is allowing everyone to win. Like, it can be your day tomorrow where you start posting consistently and then you build up your platform and you're a Snap star. So it gives everybody a chance. And that's why I love Snap, because it's not just geared towards people who are already famous or who already have platforms everywhere else. It's geared towards everybody. They want everybody. They're looking for the next new Snap stars. So, yeah.
I love that. I would say my favorite feature, I love the story replies. And I think in worlds of other platforms, it can really create a sense of hate. I have had a lot of cyberbullying. I have honestly, this past year, I don't know what it's been on the other platforms, but the cyberbullying is absolutely nuts these days. And on Snapchat, you really can create a safe space because you're the only one who can see the replies. And so I can personally either reply to them or I can, if it's a positive comment, I love to put it on my story and for everyone to see everyone else's comments. And so I really love to cultivate my own sense of positive community, and hate breeds hate online, and Snapchat really limits that. So I really, really love that feature about Snapchat. And like I said earlier, I love when I have really, really good content, I make it last for 2 to 3 days. And then when I'm like, this content's just for 24 hours, so I have the value add of how many days I want that content up for.
Amazing. And like you said, your tone sets the tone for your community. So the fact that you're able to do that is amazing. And I think we have time for 2 quick rapid fire questions. So everyone should obviously be following Katie and Nova on Snap, but who's a creator that you've discovered on Snap that you love to follow?
Ooh, I'm really pumped that King Kylie's back. Woo! No one else? Woo! Yes, Kylie Jenner. I'm not like discovering Kylie Jenner on Snapchat, but she has been back on the platform as of this past weekend. And I feel like from that, I think Snapchat's going to grow even more from there.
My phone has not stopped ringing, genuinely, from
creators. It was a good get.
Yeah.
I would say David Dobrik, really inspired me a lot on Snap. I feel like he was the face of Snapchat for a long time and still is. And it just inspired me a lot on Snap.
Yeah, two massive creators, but you see a totally different side of them on this platform. And final question, if you could turn one thing in your life Snapchat yellow, what would it be?
I would say my morning coffee mug because I love to start my day. I call it a spark of joy. And I love yellow because it represents sunshine. And I love reminding myself that anything and everything can be sunshine. And I really mean, like, truly, I'm so lame, but like,
So
truly, it
sweet.
really can if you just have a positive outlook. And yellow is so positive.
That was amazing.
I made it up on the spot.
I would say my shoes because I like yellow. And at the Snapchat Creator Summit, I think it was 2023, they gave us all like Snapchat Air Force Ones. And I've been waiting for my second pair. So yeah, I would turn my shoes Snapchat yellow.
Let me talk to the merch team for the two of you. Let's see what we can make happen. But thank you for joining us today, and thank you for sitting in.
Thank
We
you
hope this is
guys.
helpful.
Nice to
everyone.
meet you. Get on Snapchat. Woo!